Hello and welcome in Troubleshooting Python Deep Learning from Pact. My name is Konczyk and I've been programming since around 1995. And I've started to build a pretty complex Python systems since 2006. And my first encounter with machine learning was when I was trying to predict a real estate prices for one of the startups that I was working with. And, I felt miserably. I couldn't actually do that. I didn't have a lot of time to actually do that. But that got me thinking, okay, so how can I actually learn machine learning? And, after this experience, I've jumped into it and tried to figure it out. And the results of that is a lot of insights about how to learn machine learning. In this course, I'll try to share some of them with you. So let's see at the course overview. And we'll start with just exploring the convolutional neural network problems. And this is very common and pretty much the most popular neural network that achieves practical results. And one of the common problems that arise here is that since convolutional neural networks are working, we can work with them mainly with images. We've got all sorts of problems with shaping data in the right way, or just configuring the architecture of convolutional neural network related to the specific problem that we're trying to solve. So in this first section, we'll jump into the most common problems and we'll focus on mostly working with images and pre-trained models. Then in section 2, we will also explore those problems, but also can use convolutional neural networks with text as well. And when you do that, you have to have totally different approach to working with data and preparing the data. So a lot of those problems related to working with different data sets will be presented in this section 2. Then we'll switch to section 3, and here we will start to look into a very popular type of neural network called recurrent neural network. And this type of networks are very challenging because they are a bit more complex than the CNNs. So here we will see how we can approach them in a different way, or how we can approach them at all, and what kind of problems can arise when we start using them. And we will keep this as general as possible because we can have different kind of recurrent network, the specific types of recurrent networks. And in section 4, we will switch to a very specific type of recurrent neural network, very popular one nowadays, which is long short-term memory network. And here we will explore working with those networks on text because this is quite popular, and also how to work with time series datasets. So we will talk about how to solve all those problems and that arise when you're working with both text and also time series data. Then after that, we'll look at section 5, and in section 5, we'll kind of look into a very traditional machine learning library, which is scikit-learn, and we'll see what kind of utilities are really useful in solving problems with deep learning model using this framework. And it has a lot of utilities, a lot of tools that can help you actually make your deep learning models better. And we'll end with section 6, and we will talk about NumPy. And NumPy is the basis of most deep learning libraries out there, because we will be just using pi arrays all the time when we're working with our data in our deep learning models. So here in section 6, we will explore those common problems that arise when you start using NumPy arrays, and you have to do all sorts of different tasks, and you can just meet with a bit of challenges when you do that. So section 6 is all about working with data and with NumPy and solving those most common problems. So what are the prerequisites for this course? And the first prerequisite is you have to have some working Python knowledge, since this is all about working with Python deep learning models. And you will also have some experience with Keras, scikit-learn, and NumPy, which is pretty obvious since we'll be, kind of dealing with a very specific problems at times related to those libraries. And that's pretty much it. I can't wait to get started, and so that's it. Let's get started.